Recording in progress.
Welcome to yet another edition of POS, podcast where we bring up piece of shit stories and then we decide who the piece of shit is. It's not really that hard. It's pretty simple. It's pretty basic, like us.
Who's we, Pat?
Fine. What?
Who's we? You said we're we. Who's we?
You aren't you on the show?
Yeah, I was trying to jump the gun and get you to intro me. That's all. I was just making a joke.
You told me to wait so you could do drugs.
Well, you can start that now.
Drugs?
The waiting. Tom Petty says that's the hardest part.
Speaking of the waiting and the hardest part, sorry to everyone on Patreon for the last couple of weeks of us not getting episodes out in time or whatever. I think watching this beginning, you can see why. We will get them out when we can. It's supposed to be 2 a week. We'll be getting back to that probably in the February swing of things. We'll probably record 300 episodes while Bobby and I are stuck in a hotel room while I'm recording my album in February. So I have nothing else to do besides Bobby doing drugs. So, anyway, back to my intro. Fuck it, whatever. Hi, Andrew Glessner.
Hey, what's up?
How are you? And hi, Bobby. Bobby the drummer.
Not as good as Bobby. He just put the rig down.
You were also there, right, when he said, hey, just
yeah. He said, start talking. I'm going to do drugs explicitly while you intro everybody.
You guys
and then he had the audacity.
You guys are some fucking snitches on this podcast.
You just took a dab on video. You're snitching on yourself, son.
That's nicotine.
Dude, 50 people watch.
Nicotine is a drug.
Listen, we're not telling anyone. No one's being told. And half of them are bots all just watching you and me.
That is true. We do have our bot armies.
Bobby, I'm not complaining. Even though I am a straight white male, and they've been complaining a lot because I'm going to start my fuck this right away, Bobby. That's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe Glessner can use context clues to figure out what we're doing.
Or I could just do the part where I say, hey, this is the part we do fuck yeah, fuck this. It's a new part of the show, Andrew, where we each one of us, all three of us, at one at a time will say a fuck yeah, the thing we're happy about to happen this week. It can be personally, it can be something in comedy, on TV, whatever the fuck it is you're happy about. And a fuck this, a thing that you don't like to happen this week or something. It can even be from a long time ago, something that pissed you off. One time Bobby got mad at like Greek mythology. I don't fucking know. But my fuck this right away is, it starts off with a fuck yeah. I watched some great stuff this week. I'm a wrestling fan, so the Royal Rumble was very exciting for me to watch. I'm not going to get into that. People get mad. I've been loving the show The Last of Us, and I think it's amazing, and I've been loving all the episodes of that. I also am a fan of NBA basketball, and I like watching that. But man, did white men get mad about all three of these things each fucking week on the internet, and it's stupid. First of all, if you're watching wrestling and you're mad because the proper thing isn't happening, it's a scripted, acted out thing. Somebody has a plan and they're doing it. Yes, you in your basement think that you know better and you think that the guy that you like best should be the winner of everything. But if we did wrestling based on you, it wouldn't be on anymore because you're a loser.
I don't know, Pat.
Man is a weird rapist. He knows what he's doing. And yes, he's running it, not Triple H. It's fine. If you don't like it, just stop fucking watching it. Yes, Bobby?
I don't know, Pat. If we ran wrestling based off of how I thought it should go, it would go pretty much the same. We'd be paying off lots of women that I forced to blow me to move up within the company.
But wrestling.
Well, you wouldn't be. You would just be there trying to sell it to the Saudis. So at this point, that's what you'd be doing.
I mean, yeah, because you got to pay those girls off. The money doesn't come from nowhere.
Yeah, it grows on
comes from
oil,
the Saudis.
not on trees.
It comes from the money you didn't give the Hart family when their son died.
That one stings a bit, like following 10 stories to a match.
They got freed up. The whole Benoit's not on the team anymore. Like, or we don't have to do lawyers for Jimmy Snuka anymore. Thank God. He died. We had to kill him off. A lot of murderers in there. That's why I don't know why we're complaining.
Good thing the organization is fairly unblemished when you think about it.
Yes. It's almost like men that do steroids and women and then pretend to take and hurt themselves, take a lot of pain pills, might get cranky and weird.
And I don't think Rey Mysterio's son has a proper visa.
Well, he's trying to marry that dude Rhea Ripley so he can get one.
First of all, don't you never shit on Rhea Ripley. She's fucking amazing, and she's like what's carrying wrestling right now. If it wasn't for Dom Mysterio, don't make me wrestling nerd out. There's no better story in the fucking world than Dom Mysterio going to jail for 1 hour and acting like he was in prison for 30 years and talking about how people can't He said to Cody Rhodes, I don't respect my dad, and I know your dad's dead, but I don't respect his. Fuck you, Dominic Mysterio is amazing right now. And then Cody responded with, are you trying to scared straight me? It was a great second. I was very appreciative. It was fun stuff last night. But the thing that pissed me off second, and I was happy you perked your head up, Glessner, when I said The Last of Us. Are you watching it?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I love the games. The show has been phenomenal so far.
Now I've always appreciated because you're not a dummy. No, you're not.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to take from that, Pat.
What?
Well,
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to take from you going, I like working with you, Andrew, because you're not a dummy.
I like
as
having you
opposed to
on the
me.
show. Yes, I already know you're not a dummy. This is what you just wanted to do drugs, I thought. I thought I was supposed to talk while you did drugs.
I'm done with the drugs. We're good.
My camera angle, there's like 47 little boxes. My microphone looks like drugs.
he's done with the drugs because he's already done the drugs.
Bobby, are you watching The Last of Us?
No, I heard
Then shut the
something
fuck
about
up.
it. I'm just trying to tag stuff, buddy.
You were watching it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go away for a while. You guys chat.
Don't go away. You can chime in because I know you're going to have an opinion about what I'm going to say. People have been complaining. First of all, in the first episode, people were like, it's not bad. The guy doesn't look like Joel. Yeah, they're not. He's a human. He's also one of the best actors in the world right now. Let's take amazing in everything he's in. Let's let him do his thing. They're like, the girl's doing good as the video game girl. Oh, another amazing actress. It's almost like they were together on another incredible show on HBO.
Yeah, it's almost like that helped them get cast.
It's almost like they both died together once.
Yeah.
They may have to do it again.
Well, it was several seasons apart, but
still, they have that bond together.
both of them were killed by giants, though, when you think about it. It's pretty cool.
And in the first and second episode, we got my favorite actress. I was a huge fan of Fringe. I was very happy to see that she was on the show here, too. And she did a great job. But I know the video game. Did I play it? No, my kids did, and I watched it. It was an amazing thing to sit and watch. I enjoyed the video game. But when people make a TV show based on a video game, based on a book, based on something that's not a fucking TV show, I assume they're going to make it so they, as it kind of says in wording in the credits, adapted for TV. Like it's almost like you just watched a video game, it would be a shitty show. Because it'd be one kid swearing because he can't beat the clicker a bunch. And then finally you get by. So they're almost doing things to make it so people who don't like the video game can also enjoy. The people who like the video game can still say, wow, the clickers look amazing. Wow, Ellie's doing a great job. Wow, the scenery, the backdrop looks just like the fucking game. It's crazy what they're doing there. So sorry that instead of having a shoot 'em out crazy scene at Bill and Frank's house, they had a story about two people in love. But everyone's actually, no, they're gay.
So there were some back shots fired, but
Yes. But, okay, it's not like we didn't know Ron Swanson was gay. I assumed it the entire time. He was real mad at people. Like
pretend that Frank is one of the Tammys. It's fine.
I had no issue with it. My mom used to listen to Linda Ronstadt. It made me feel good. I'm like, I remember that music. They were trying to go for a Strangers thing, saying like, let's take an old song and make it come back. It's not going to work with Linda Ronstadt, but I appreciate the effort. But it built a story where now I really care about Joel and wanting to protect because he keeps failing. And that's what you need from the TV show part that was in the video game because you just understood it. Yes, I watch a reaction show that's that my kids watch. That guy's name is like a boy Raji. I think something like that.
It's Mr. Beast.
Guys, and they cry a lot. They watch a million shows, and they're great at it. At one point, the guy goes, "I don't think HBO could afford this scene the way it's supposed to be. Of just 8 million guns firing off forever at a house while Frank just swore a bunch. So I don't think it was going to work out well. So maybe they're better off having this." And yeah, it was two dudes kiss, whatever. Get over it. It wasn't for woke shit. They were gay in the video game.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played it. I know Bill is a character. I think Frank is implied, but I don't know if you see him.
You don't see him. Bill is there, but he's just shooting off and yelling, "What the fuck are you guys doing here?
Yeah.
Help me fight." That's whatever. The reason why they get all the weapons and get the truck that they need is that, so instead in this show, they built it up So you showed things that happened, how they became to be, how Bill and Frank became together because they talked about how he had a partner and all that. And instead, didn't have Frank in it. Spoiler alert. They had him die with his lover because, but he also, the basement was like fucking the Bat Cave and had everything they fucking need. And also built the story incredibly well.
Yes. It was an incredible standalone episode.
You could just have a talking point or a bunch of words written underneath and catch on. You can't do that in a fucking TV show, especially one that they're trying to make like a better Walking Dead. And that's what it feels like. It feels like seasons 1 through 3 of Walking Dead with that darkness, with you can't wait to happen next. You know people could die. You're afraid to get attached. You know which two aren't going to die, but everyone else is fucking fair fucking game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as of right now,
yeah,
I have my guess of which two are going to die from HIV.
They're already dead. They died in the episode. And they didn't imply what it was, but the legs didn't work.
Oh no! He's got
the leg AIDS.
He's got the pneumonia, the kind that won't go away.
Yep. We didn't have the Magic Johnson one where it keeps running. It was the opposite one. And then the third one in White Men got mad at that. And then White Men got
hold on, before you move on, here's anytime something like this always happens, what I see is a lot of people going, "Oh, they mad about this," and I see like a million people talking about how pissed off people are, and I didn't see a single person being like, "That was a pretty good episode, I didn't like it." I'm not saying it didn't happen, but I didn't see any of that shit. What I saw a lot of was people jumping to defend something.
I saw Mike O'Donnell pretty angry.
I saw one guy call it sus.
Yeah, okay, you're telling me it was a white guy who used sus, Pat?
No, Bobby, that's everyone my son's age. That's all white kids say is sus.
Did they tell him it's a different video game? That's The Last of Us.
Maybe it's
Among Us,
to
not The Last of Us.
Sus just means that you're
sus. Yeah.
It's like all it means now. So, but the amount of complaining about that and making it like this is supposed to be shooting, this is just all gay. It wasn't gay. It was a love story that built up a lot. And also, I think they're more mad. And this is why I think white men are mad. And I'm not saying this for woke in any way.
Because he was a libertarian dream who also fucked dudes.
Not only that, he was a badass.
Oh yeah, well that's because they're a hero, but also wait,
torches and bombs and they're like that's supposed to be a straight tough Trump supporter. He's not supposed to be gay. Well, there's nothing tougher than getting your dick sucked by a dude while blowing people up.
That's right.
You know,
fucking another dude is like one of the manliest things you can do when you think about it. Also,
when two men are having sex, it's so manly. There's no women.
The manliest thing. Yeah, it's also
if anything, when you have sex with a woman, you're kind of being a pussy.
A little bit of a bitch. In the apocalypse, I feel like gay sex is probably the most pragmatic thing you can do.
Right, without a doubt, because why bring a baby into this world?
That's right. Aside from the AIDS.
Listen. And if you get AIDS, you are gonna die anyway.
And also, there's already like a pandemic. It's not like the AIDS is the worst part, you know. Like,
no, I think it's still worse than the pandemic. I'd be like, you know what? I'll take COVID 25 times over before I take this HIV.
The whole clicker disease, as well as the cordyceps mushrooms becoming self-aware.
Didn't DMX say something about that?
Put on his neck says gay. Gay, yo, sus. But my other third complaint of white men was. Did anyone else see LeBron James really be a baby when they were playing the Celtics the other day?
I don't watch basketball.
It was huge in the news. So even if you were watching, it was something that just took over because the game was about to go into overtime. The Lakers had a chance to win before they went to overtime. LeBron James drove to the lane by traveling ridiculously, but no one calls that anymore. 12 steps and like a program, and he went through the lane. When he went to go lay it up, Tatum literally, you saw it, smack his arm. They did not call the foul, so the game went into overtime because he missed the shot. Now, the game was going into overtime. I understand being upset. That was Michael Jordan. He would have been pissed, gone into the huddle, and then scored 15 in 2 minutes and destroyed the team for disrespecting him and then probably taking a shit on the referee's lap when it was over. LeBron James started screaming and yelling and almost crying, and then went to the ground, started pounding like a baby, like hitting the ground. And you can see it, upset, pulling at his head, upset and mad because that he was not giving the foul call, and then had after the game went to the reporters and was like, "This is ridiculous. It's a conspiracy against us. They're not getting called. No one's doing it." And yes, he is being fouled a lot. They're almost treating him like he's a basketball player and not better than everyone this year. And they think he's starting to get upset at that. That's why when all these guys are like, "It's not fair," younger white men are like, "He's the greatest ever." This is why he isn't the greatest ever, and I always hate that argument. He's not the greatest ever because Michael Jordan wouldn't have had a tantrum one year. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar wouldn't have had a fucking tantrum. Bill Russell would have fucking laughed because people were calling him the worst word ever as he was winning championships for all white people in Boston. He wouldn't have cried because they were like, "Ow." I grew up being a fan of the Knicks where everybody just punched everybody.
Yeah, just hit a motherfucker in the face.
You missed the biggest part of that play, though, which is I finally found an NBA player who completely represented my mindset, who was Patrick Beverly, who, while LeBron was on the floor and got his technical, what did Pat Beverly do, Andrew? He went over to a reporter, found a camera showing the foul, and brought it over to the ref and got a technical. And then while walking away, was like, "Fuck you, it was a fucking foul." And I was like, that's me. Sometimes people are like, "You just got to move on, let it go for your own sake." And I'm like, nah, I'm right.
No. I will burn this motherfucker to the ground.
And I hate to go all sports because people get mad at us, but like, Patrick Beverly is the reason why they got back in that fucking game, too. He had hit 2 big threes and played his ass off. He's finally been stepping now with Anthony Davis, but he's stepping it up a little bit. So, like, it was great to watch him do that. So I almost understand him going, "Fuck that. I carried this team with billionaires on my team, a couple of them. I got 3 guys making all this money. Yeah, I'm making cash, but I'm like number 5 or 6 as like stars on this team. So fuck you. Give me your phone. I'm showing people. We should be going home now. My name is Beverly, and I get made fun of a lot."
I did see you share that GIF, Bobby, and that might have been.
Yeah, that was where it came from.
One of the coolest fucking things. Like,
yeah, fuck you. It's a foul. Yeah, you know what you did.
Did anyone try taking some of that LeBron hand lotion and then just powdering his bottom? Maybe he had a rash.
But Bobby, the reason why I didn't bring him up is because no white men complained about that because everybody thought that was cool.
Well,
yeah.
Oh no!
I
know you're not on Twitter, but that was one of my favorite tweets I've ever sent. Was just my family, please, Bobby, just let it go for your own sake. Nah.
No.
As you gotta fucking go for. So the complaining and fucking bullshit of that was my fuckingness.
Was it only white dudes complaining about LeBron? Because that seems like a thing we could all rally together on, the fact that he's acting like a bit of a bitch.
Be honest, anyone I saw that wasn't white was kind of like in favor of LeBron being that upset.
Why? Like,
I'll be honest.
I get being mad, but it's like you're not changing anything after the fact.
It's also January.
Yeah, you're also a grown ass man.
Who gives a fuck?
With $1 billion.
There's a play in now for last. You're gonna get it.
I'm one of the biggest LeBron haters in the world, and they should have called that foul. Like, if it was the third quarter, that's a fine, no call, whatever, you missed it. But, like, that was a game-altering foul. But that said, Pat, you hit that nail on the head. All the greats just move on and then make them pay. Bird would have just been laughing. Like, he would have just been on the bench laughing, like, you guys shouldn't have done that one.
Yeah, well, yeah. And that's, like he said, MJ, too, would just be like, all right, and then drop 20 on him.
Exactly.
Even Reggie Miller, who was known to pitch, would have pitched and moaned and then hit 4 threes in the fucking over.
Steph Curry.
And then left.
Steph Curry,
it's not like soft. LeBron is tremendous and great. I'm just saying it's getting rich. We used to all make jokes about soccer players flopping, but that's what the NBA's become. It's all, I love basketball, but it's hard to watch because there is no passing. It is one-on-one plays and 3-point shots. And then at the end, everyone gets mad when they finally get hit, but they're not driving ever. So that's why they don't know how to get hit.
Frankly, it's all a bit sus, bro.
This isn't an NBA podcast, but if you want to solve 99% of the problems you just listed, remove the defensive 3 in the key rule.
Welcome back to the NBA podcast with 3 white gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. 3 guys, 2 of which way too short to be in the NBA.
I don't even watch the NBA.
The funny thing is, though, if you watch any of there's some great things out there of people who give you their takes every day on the NBA. Like, they wish they were on ESPN, they're not. And they're mostly white men wearing basketball jerseys. There's one guy called Mic'd Up. Like, they're all shows. It's not like his name. Everyone has that. But I've watched him because he goes, Mic check 1 2. What's going on? Everybody, those awkward yelling of mic check 1 2, and he just gives his take on what NBA players should be doing. But when everything he says, I just read on ESPN like a minute earlier. So we should just do that, Bobby. He gets more views.
He just does the Stephen A. Smith yelling, but without like the African stuff.
All right, I did my fuck this. Bobby, you gotta fuck this.
Are we just doing fuck thises?
Right now, I think it's more fun to go angry. And then we
All right,
can
yeah. All right, my fuck this then is history, because like you never know. No, just the issue that
the entirety. You know?
Like,
no. Class.
The main issue I have with it is that it's written by the victor. You know.
Yes.
Like
for the most part.
We've talked about Caesar. How
I've heard a couple Jews complain.
Yeah. Well, all of all we know about Caesar was written by Julius Caesar. Like, and all of the stories are basically like, yeah, everybody was sucking ass, and then I checked myself into the battle. But the big one for me was like John Wilkes Booth. We don't know what his motivation for shooting the president was.
They wanted to end tyranny. That's why he yelled "Sic Semper Tyrannis."
That's one thing. Or perhaps did the, I don't know, president come unannounced into the biggest city in the world and gridlock the entire city, and maybe he was late for work and was afraid he was going to lose his job because things were shaky as is, and so Sic Semper Tyrannis was just like, you don't get to close down the whole fucking city, Lincoln.
At the playhouse that he worked at, he was already at you know what, that's fair, maybe he got there 45 minutes late. It was like, you know what, fuck this top hat wearing motherfucker, I'm done.
Maybe he had to park at 66th Street instead of 34th, and then he had to run. And, he wasn't wearing running shoes, so his plantar fascia is acting up. And
it was 1865. There were 7 streets in D.C.
Maybe he was contemplating things like, this guy is pretty senile. It would be just euthanasia at this point. 13 open mics, actually, Pat.
Those are the worst kids I know. The euthanasia, I hate.
They're good at math, though.
So good at math. Well, the boys. The girls don't.
No, you'd be surprised.
Too much euthanasia. Okay.
Oh, no.
But, Bobby, I'm shocked that I would think at this point, because there's been so many people trying to write things of history where they can almost not be proven right or wrong, that there isn't somebody who's written a John Wilkes Booth thing, or there's not a John Wilkes Booth Broadway play coming out soon. Well,
I mean, it was definitely one of the themes in several time-traveling TV series.
Right,
but
I'm talking about someone actually writing the real reason behind him. They've done it with everything else. You know what I mean?
I'm just saying I could understand how somebody who had a plan, they do the same thing every day, there was no signs like, hey, city's going to be shut down because this guy decided to pop in, could understand, could sympathize with a Wilkes Booth type character. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I think that's something to be mad about, because John Wilkes Booth needs to be heard.
Anyway,
he kind of made his point.
In other news, Biden was in New York today.
No, okay, so there we go. So what happened with that, Bobby?
Nothing to report here.
He didn't come unannounced, causing a huge traffic jam. And
did Bobby Wolfskamber go find him in the theater?
No, he did not. He did not, although it would be considered euthanasia.
Again, hot. They're hot. Thai lady boys. It's the euthanasia I know of.
It makes you feel better.
You have a fuck this?
I'm sure I can find one, but Biden would have told you he was coming to New York if he knew he was coming to New York while he was in New York.
That's
not
a very
his fault.
fair point.
Didn't even know New York was a place.
I mean, okay.
I will say at one point.
Yeah, I would say fuck this to those Memphis cops. What's the deal with that?
Why?
those ornery rascals who went ahead and beat a man to death. Like, if any police department in Tennessee showed you the way like black officers should beat anything, it's Laverne with that little white girl. That's how you do it, which is my fuck yeah. Because listen, those guys weren't killing anybody. They were slaying some puss, but they weren't killing anybody.
Have you seen the meme where they put her face in uniform right next to Rick and Morty? Morty's face, and they look exactly the same. Morty and her look like the same. It's so fucking crazy how so many people fucked Morty in a police uniform.
Well, I saw that and I was just like, God, the Office hot's real. You know what I mean? Like, it's you started that long enough, you're like, yeah, I would.
I used to call it in a joke of mine, situationally hot. Like,
yeah.
You've gone to a gas station, and you're like, that lady's got one eye, but the guy who works there is like, I wish she would fuck you, but she's dating that other guy. When you're stuck in this one thing, she's the hot one. And that girl is just open and down. You're like, yeah, we're all down, and that's fine. Her husband seems to be super cucked and fine with it, whatever. But it is weird how all the black guys got tired. No white guys were kind of like, we're waiting to see. That was a little.
It's almost like that internalized racism thing's kind of real. Who knows? I don't want to.
But the Memphis thing is super fucked up. I mean, beyond. It's getting out of control and insane. It always has been. I know it's for real. This isn't the opinion I'm supposed to even share. I get all that shit, but I can still say it's fucked up.
I was in watching a cop shoot somebody because they got scared. And I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but it's one thing. But like watching 5 dudes take turns beating to death somebody was unreal. It's like, what? You have no justification. Not even a little bit.
I think you guys were way too young, but I remember the Rodney King stuff. That was insane, but it wasn't even that kind of video. It was kind of like, what the... But we've never seen anything like that before on TV. Yeah. It's almost gotten to the point where, unfortunately, this is sad, that we're like, oh, we've seen this, and it's not getting the coverage. It was getting a lot. It should be getting more. It should be like shutting things down. It should be insane. We're just like, oh, this happens all the time. It's fucked up.
Well, there's one good thing. I think we've gotten really good at in this country is going, oh, here's this terrible thing. Must be Tuesday.
Yep. Yeah, it must be bad, but here's cat memes.
Yep, that's right.
Like, it'll be okay.
Well, I'll suffer through a little bit longer. It's fine. But yeah, that's if I have a fuck. Yeah, that.
Yeah. I feel bad about complaining about white men.
Well, no. There's you also we fucking earned it. No, because you're still right. We're still always just pieces of shit across the board.
April
There's always plenty to complain about with us.
1992.
Was a riot on the streets. Tell me, where were you? You were sitting home and watching your TV. Well, we were participating in some. Okay, we're gonna get copyright struck.
I don't think we were that close.
You and I were way off from each other.
You were nailing it. It was that was keeping you down, if I'm being honest.
Bobby, do you know when the last time we got copyright claimed was?
The Disco Amy version.
No, a couple weeks ago, when I asked you to play that video of that guy I follow on Instagram, the Down syndrome guy who moves.
Oh, God.
his song that was playing, and it got on. It was fine. But it was like copyright claim. Like, why? I'm like, oh.
One of my favorite things in the world is a couple of the guys that we do open mic with regularly at the Zone have started using the Comedy Zone and Boomerangs, the restaurants attached to, as like their podcast studio. And I was just kind of mocking the one night on stage when I was hosting. I was like, if you want to know that nobody listens to your podcast, do it in a restaurant where they're playing music the entire time as your background noise. And you're not getting a copyright strike.
Even YouTube doesn't care. They're like,
well, honestly, there's 6 of you. It's
insane. But yeah, there's a great Instagram thing on there of a strong and able, or 10 in between, and it's the greatest follow because it is a Down syndrome boy who he has a guy who helps him out, and the guy just shoots 3-pointers, and it's amazing. He just shoots like this, and goes like this, and he drains them all, and they play all different kinds of music. Sometimes they put him in Superman costumes. He doesn't make any eye contact with the hoop. He's staring off to the side, but he just drains threes, and it's not edited, and I can't stop watching it. And my daughter's like, hey, Dad, you don't have to send me the new one every day. I'm good.
No. Yes, I do. It's still insane.
He's like, I'm at school trying to teach kids, and I really don't need this right now. And they're like, why is that on your phone?
Teach them that this is amazing.
Right, but it's like, why did your dad send it?
Because the sad thing is,
Dad, that's what he does.
Okay.
The channel that like rivals it is just a guy with Down syndrome doing calculus. People are like, come on, it's so much more impressive.
No, but then there's also that superhuman guy who just like does front flips on some microwaves and shit.
Juggalos and juggalettes.
Whoop, whoop. I hope you like it.
Fuck this shit.
Although that guy is my hero.
Oh, whoop, and he just like jumped through like fluorescent lights.
Yeah, just
hurt himself so bad. And he thought he was going to be famous forever, and it started really wearing off. He started doing worse things. Like,
yeah.
Kill yourself. Don't do it.
You know what? Still more respectable than any girl who just lip syncs on TikTok. because that guy's going for it.
I don't know. Sometimes they're really hot.
Well, yeah, but it's what's crazy too is like there's this fun scale to where it's like the hotter they are, the worse they are at syncing up the lip sync, and it just annoys the piss out of me. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it, but some like 2%.
There's one girl that I follow that does. I don't care about the music, but when they do they do like a video, so they got like a voice vocal of it. There was a little girl. It was pretty viral. A little girl was talking about how she went to a museum and she was like, and we saw penises in 1990s. Penises were art, and she's doing this whole thing. This one lady was doing it, and she did the big eye shit, which I do appreciate. When a kind of pretty lady does the big eye thing and does it, I'm like, oh, it looks like a dumb baby, but like, it's okay. And then they whip it, and it does make me fucking laugh. I don't know. I didn't realize that was the thing I needed in my life. When I need to chuckle, I can look at that and laugh.
I do feel bad though. I feel like somebody should tell those girls that, like, as attractive as you are, you could literally just make a video of you sitting there and be like, and it would get the same amount of views.
But that's and a lot of like Favreau talked about this on Joe Rogan or one of them. But it's like you have like a hot woman who wants to be funny,
but they're not funny.
No matter what, they're not going to laugh. Even if she is funny,
so they can do funny things.
They have to do like big eyes or weird shit to get away. Like, I can't be pretty. I have a sense of humor, which is fucking insane. So I do like the fact that there is a way for people who actually do have a sense of humor, but just happen to come in a nice vessel and find like filters and weird shit to go, it's okay if I fucking Phantom of the Opera this shit, I can be funny.
Just great. What a problem to have, because none of us, right? None of us.
But no guy, even a very handsome guy.
Oh, yeah.
There's great comedians. Yeah, some people may hate on them a little bit. But there's some Jeff Dye is hilarious and a very good looking guy. But like, you know, like no one gives him shit for being good looking, no matter what. I mean, some things like to a certain point, like when Ryan Reynolds is doing really well in movies, it's still everyone's like, oh, he's so funny. Like, no, he's handsome and he's reading well. like he's delivering good lines. He's comedically funny, but like he's also not as handsome as we believe. Because he's on TV, we always give that 2% more. You know what I mean? Like, we're just like, how many times there's a woman who's okay looking and she becomes famous, like, oh, she's hot. Like, is she or is she just famous?
Yeah.
Julia Roberts isn't hot. There was a time where everyone said she was hot. She's pretty.
But she is a pretty woman.
Okay.
Well, we had a guest do something we haven't had before, which is name the same thing as their fuck yeah and fuck this, which was police departments in Tennessee. Let's, Pat, what was your fuck yeah? I want to hear your good news.
Well, first of all, I think we should have some kind of award for it if you could double win you. I didn't even catch on that, Bobby. Good job. Like, I did not even notice that at all. My fuck yeah was that today, and I was talking to you about this before that we went on, I was on Chaz and AJ, and there's been a bunch of robberies at Walmarts in Connecticut. Now, that's not my fuck yeah. That's awful. But they've been on the outside, not the inside, where they normally happen. They've been on the outside in the parking lots at different places in Connecticut. People have been robbing women, jumping out of the cars. Once again, not my fuck yeah. It's terrible. My fuck yeah is that
sounds kind of funny.
One woman fought back and jumped back in. When they jumped out of the car after her, she jumped back in the car and fought went on the guy's lap, fought with him, struggled with him, got her pocketbook back, and dropped her keys on the ground, went back to the car and grabbed her key. You're not stealing my fucking car, and you're on. And they were like looking for her afterwards, and finally police came. And we were talking about that on the radio today. And we had a bunch of callers calling in. But then that woman, Lee, called the radio station and then told us her side of the story, which was fucking so cool. And this lady who fought off people was like listening and going, I'll just call in and talk. Like, you know what? That's how old school 15 minutes happen. Nowadays, everybody just gets to be on Instagram or do whatever, do a Snapchat your hair. The old school way was, oh, I've got a thing going on. I better get to the local TV station or local radio station and talk for a while and get on. So she came on. Yeah, she was crazy. Of course she's crazy. She fought bad guys. Like, who does that? I would have been crying forever. But she was cool as shit. And it was pretty cool to be part of a thing where a lady called up and goes, yeah, I got to tell these people. And everyone was like, the whole time, like, is this real? But it was 100% her. It was the fucking lady calling up because she fought off bad dudes. And then I said, I'd be awesome if the guy who robbed you called back and be like, here's my son. He's still on the loop, so it's kind of funny, but he didn't call him. Bobby?
Yo, Oates, you better be funny. I used my one call to give my side of the story.
I wish if you were just mad at me.
First of all, that bitch is racist. I was just trying.
That could happen. Yes.
Are they sure that guy just doesn't have a speech impediment? So when they hear "Give me your purse," they're just freaking out.
He was trying to rape her. He just didn't get out Percy.
Just snatching.
Jumping out of a car at them and going back in the car.
That's fair. Well, yeah, just real quick.
And I even said, I was like, what's the point? No one, unless you get their phone, everyone's money is on their phone now.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people carry, and most women are carrying those like cross body bag things now.
Yeah.
Where like you're not gonna get to the purse itself is just.
I think they're called babies.
It's not
Women
called
are-
babies.
The cross, the
carrying
baby
babies.
Bjorn. Wouldn't it be a bitch if you try to steal a purse and you end up child trafficking unintentionally? You're
Just
gonna give
throw
this
it back at
It's
the
not-
woman. Oh,
I
fuck
didn't,
no, bitch. I didn't sign up for no adoption.
didn't want this. Well, yeah, that's like the only time you would ever rob me and get cash is if you catch me after like I did a local show. And
Yeah.
good luck not spending all that $30 somewhere. Like,
Like that, where I'm like looking at the guy going, "You don't have Venmo."
yeah.
Seriously. The show I did 2 weeks ago, the guy, I'm like, really? Cash? He goes, 'cause he likes doing the handshake thing. And I'm like, he goes, that's my move. And that's every Italian man. Any Italian man who's ever paid me pretends like they're shaking my hand, puts cash in my hand. But I wasn't ready for it because I thought you just Venmo. Because I paid the cash, but I can Venmo you. I'm like, you're not proving a point. Like, I'm old and I know you shouldn't be giving me cash anymore. I know you don't want to write it off. So that's why you're not making any documents of it.
But how am I going to do a line of blow with my Venmo?
Off the phone.
I don't
Just
know.
pull your account up and then just like, just get it.
My
I've never done cocaine, but yeah, you use money, right? Yeah. You use money.
I've never done cocaine either. Anyway,
That's the way you do it, right? Money.
That's what I've heard. Or like, so sometimes you could do it off of money if you're doing like lines somewhere, but you could also just like put it on a key. That's called, I believe, a key bump.
I know people do it off ladies' butts, and then ladies do it off men's dicks, but you don't use money with that, right? You just do it off. You don't think of money. You're like, I know it's your butt, but like it's still kind of gross. So I'm gonna use.
Depends
money
on
with
how much cocaine you have. If you're really being precise, I'm gonna use that dollar. Make sure I get it. I'm not gonna smear it all over my nose.
You only have a little bit left. I don't think you're trying sexual tricks. You know what I mean? Like you're just scrounging for your last cocaine.
I think you got a little bit of coke left. You're LeBron. The game's tied, and it's 105-105. You better nail something quick.
Or you're just on the ground crying, looking for your cocaine that fell off your feet.
I've been there. No, I haven't.
I like how you covered up.
I actually don't like coke. Anyway, my fuck yeah.
More of a Pepsi man?
To be fair, I also think you don't.
What?
I also believe you don't like coke.
Yeah, I'm a weed guy. I like to slow things down, not speed things up. But
I wasn't sure. Okay, so thank you for.
My fuck yeah is kind of a new thing too, because it actually involves each of your fuck this is, and that's basically all right. You guys remember in 2008 when like a group of people thought racism was over because Obama was sworn in as president?
I don't think that was the thought process, but I know what you mean.
There was a group of people who were like, okay, this is a major step in the grounds of racism, and then did seem like it kind of more brought race to a focal point rather than alleviating the tensions. But
there was people where I live who were like, they voted for that, so they weren't.
Oh yeah. But people, there was a naive group of people who were like, oh yeah, if this happens, then we're good. And I feel like we took more of a significant step this weekend than we did when Obama got elected, and that's because three things happened that African Americans stepped into a realm previously only dominated by white people. One, acting like a major diva after a missed call. Normally, you would just be cut from the team. You had better be the best goddamn player in the world when you do that. Otherwise, they're just going to get rid of you, especially the Lakers. They don't deal with that shit in L.A.
Yeah, you ain't Luka, bitch. I mean, go ahead.
But see, but you just made an argument as to why there was only black people doing that before.
No. Well, I'm saying like up to a point. It would be like Bird could get away with that, but Jordan better be okay.
McHale wouldn't even have batted a fucking eye. But
two black quarterbacks for the first time in the Super Bowl. I think that's pretty impressive. And
is that the first time?
Yeah.
Wow. I thought that would happen one time before.
No. First time. And probably most impressively, a group of black cops beat a black man to death, and the whole country's mad. That used to be a white thing. So you know, I get that you see it as a bad thing, Glessner. I, however, dream of a day where people can stomp people based on the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
I didn't care who beat him. It was abuse of power.
I will say, though, at least with this one happening, both sides, like, everybody's actually mad at the cops. I don't think anyone's like, well, hold on.
Yeah, you're really finding out who's pro-cop and who's pro-racist at this point.
Yeah, it's because the crowd that normally would have done that, I'm like, no, they found out what color they were. Now, I'll say this, the weird thing is, like, still seeing that angle of where they're like, it was black cops. But don't we think white supremacy played a role? And I'm like, no. Not even a little bit.
I am mad this isn't like 20-something years ago, so there wasn't a very special Family Matters where Carl taught them, because that would have been good.
Was watching the riot coverage on the TV. I'm like, well, sometimes, Carl, there's bad men out there. And it's,
Pulls Eddie aside in the little diner. Not good.
Those were always the good, like, Fresh Prince and Family. They were great.
Yes, they always had good speeches and things. R.I.P. to what's her name from Vernon Shirley too. Cindy Williams died. But, But Bobby, I can't agree with anything.
Why not?
Theoretically, I can understand where you're coming from, but just...
Even the beginning part, I was like, no. Not everybody was happy when that happened. There was a very divide. Oh my God, they're going to have Rottweilers in the White House. I heard all that shit. Like, they're going to have cars in the front lot. Like, I've heard all that shit.
Which is crazy because you had Clinton, who was a white dude from Arkansas. If there was going to be, like, vehicles on the front yard, it would have been then.
Remember, though, when people were saying he was the first black president, which is such an insult.
Still not untrue, is it?
If you can't,
black guys didn't go to that island.
If you cannot stomp, then punch. If you cannot punch, then choke. That was just MLK speech. Still doing it with police brutality.
I don't know why you're doing it.
We just both feel really adamant that we have to let everybody know that we don't endorse this.
I don't endorse it either.
Like,
I just think
my fuck miss was, why can't people understand gay love? Yours was, I'm happy that it's not the color of the skin getting beaten, the content of their character. I hate you.
Well, I feel like all sides are represented pretty fairly.
No, it's all awful.
Well, yeah, yes, that's also true. That's life right now.
I mean, the two quarterback thing's kind of cool.
That is pretty cool, actually. I didn't really.
He's not really.
And you got
Mahomes.
You got the Kelsey brothers.
Whoa.
The Kelsey brothers about to find out which one's really their dad's favorite.
Yeah, exactly. And
we know which one.
Obviously, I was being facetious, but the point I'm making is, like, it's good that now everybody can look at a situation and be like, oh yeah, we do need some reform here. Maybe things are getting out of hand, especially when they did, like, everything by the book. According to the department, like, they did the training, they did everybody was up on their hours, they were doing body cams, like, so now it's like, okay, we did your reforms that you wanted, and it's still nothing happened now. Let's make a real change.
You know what we need, right?
To make a change for once in my life.
That would change everything.
That would.
That actually would. Because then, if they got shot, it's like, well, they were guilty. Because he's judge, jury, and executioner.
That movie is garbage.
I didn't hate the remake. I thought the remake was actually... That's one of those,
I didn't even try the remake.
It's one of those weird instances where the remake was better, but that's just because the first Judge Dredd kind of just sucked. Like, it was neat because it was a Stallone vehicle, but there was actually a pretty decent... I mean, it's not great, but it was... I think it was better than the first one. And Carl Urban was kind of a cooler judge than Stallone, just because he actually has to act.
Now, was that a remake, or was it kind of just like a reboot, where it was kind of like...
It was a reboot. It was a similar concept, different story. So it was like a reboot, I guess.
Because, like, I know it wasn't the same thing, but I hated all Blade Runners, and I didn't mind the latest thing. I know it's a new story, but it was just done better. We finally have the technology to make it kind of work. It was garbage when it was made, when it wasn't made. But.
Well, yeah, and I think that's the problem with some of the earlier sci-fi that goes real deep into it, is it's like, I get what they were going for, but the technology wasn't there to really paint the world as vividly as they might have wanted it to. So you kind of have to use your imagination on top of what they did, whereas like 2049, you're like, No, this is beautiful. Like, this is exactly what they probably wanted to do in the first one. They just didn't have the money.
It is funny to see that
With
no matter how
attack.
much money they have, Avatar was always terrible. Just terrible.
I still haven't seen the second one.
Never mind, but
I
I'm
like when he
guaranteeing.
airbends.
James Cameron doesn't need my $20 that bad. I think he's going to be just okay. I'll bootleg it later.
I like that dude from the Fire Nation. The face.
Oh, see, I like Aang way better. I like that Avatar better than that Avatar. Yeah.
Oh,
When,
like, yeah.
when I moved,
Okay.
when I moved to
the M. Night
Hershey,
Shyamalan movies of that were garbage. Like they messed
Oh,
that up.
You could have just said the M. Night Shyamalan movies were
I'm
garbage.
looking forward to Knock on the Cabin. I think that's going to be good.
I'm just giving up hope in him. I really.
So vibe. It's still on Apple right now. It's not bad. He's kind of gotten a resurgence a little bit. So
I feel like someone just watched The Sixth Sense and was like, "No, we'll greenlight him for everything for the rest of his life." It's like,
Village wasn't bad. I didn't mind the Village.
yeah, but it wasn't great.
My issue was the
Unbreakable.
people.
I liked Unbreakable.
my issue was the people in the village. All the singing.
Oh,
Yeah, that
yeah.
fucking construction worker, the police officer.
Well, I don't know if
Absolutely.
you know about this young man, but there's a place you.
When
Where?
you're short on your dough.
That's a great. That song was just about, hey, if you're a homeless gay guy, you can sleep and get fucked in the YMCA.
You're trying to get fucked on bunk beds that are right beside a basketball court? It's fun to stay at the... Okay.
That's why I let the Crocs have become popular, but they really were just shoes for people that they gave for free at the YMCA so you wouldn't get AIDS on your feet. They gave them out there because the water would drain through and you could shower with them on. And then they became, I was like, oh, those look cool. Ugh.
It's like, do they? Do they look... I don't know. Ugh.
I don't know if they look cool. So did we fuck this and fuck that? We did it?
Yes, we all
I
fucked
think
this
we
and we all
nailed
fucked that. We fucked this and that just like that white girl and LeBron. Okay, we're done.
Yes, we did it. That girl, more power.
I was gonna go with like The Last of Us.
Okay, yeah, also.
No, they only fucked this.
I think my favorite quote that I saw from that was that some dude on Twitter was like, I don't get why they're mad. He literally created the libertarian utopia. And I'm like, yep.
Yeah. Dude, it was a great episode.
Oh,
it was a fucking great episode.
Well, and
All
that's,
three of them have been great.
yeah, they've all been really pretty solid adaptations of the game. And this was the only one that was really a departure. And it really, again, it was implied they were gay. This gave you backstory. And I was talking to somebody today about that. I was like, if you watched that episode and if they were a straight couple and you would have loved it, you're a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah,
it's just,
you.
you can't appreciate a good story. That's your problem.
My
If you're
question
upset because
is,
we branched off and just had a romance and a thing
Yeah.
that we're building a story and characters and trying to get you to a certain place, and I get that, but all three of these episodes have done things that you know about. The first two started with things that aren't in the game to give you information that you needed.
Plus,
My-
the foreshadowing of that letter. I said, God help the motherfucker. If you guys
I
don't know,
about,
wait.
I don't know about all about that nerdy shit, but my question is, did it pass the clit test? Because I hear that's how we evaluate sex scenes these days, is the clit test.
Well, there was absolutely no clit.
That's not a good look.
I can't speak to how small one of the penises were. I don't know.
I know if I'm making a sex scene, it's gonna pass the clit test.
I know that this was not the first ever, obviously, gay kiss, but it might have been the first ever two bearded dudes gay kiss.
Just a couple bears going at it.
I don't know if I've ever seen just two filthy beards going at it.
Looked like a
By the
nature
way, Ron
documentary.
Swanson, not a good kisser.
Let's get all that beard, yeah.
Eastside Dave and Fez did beard porn once, where they would rub each other's beards, and I think they kissed in that a little bit.
Well, it's by accident if you lose the sight of where the lips end and the hair begins. Accident.
This was not an accident. This and Last of Us, this was on purpose.
Some
He
would say
fucked
it
for
was
a
a
house.
mistake, though.
Well, and a man starts playing the piano to Linda Ronstadt. He's like, no, this is how you do it. I was like, that was a good test.
You're gonna make a meme. Tell me you're gay without telling me you're gay. You start playing with the rock that correctly on your piano. All right,
You correct the gay-haired gentleman's play. Okay.
Bobby, we ready for our POS story before we get out of here?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Bob. I feel like we kind of let you. Do you want to say more stuff?
No, not at all.
You kind of did dork out a little bit, but
I
appreciate you bringing the black perspective.
I was trying to make some jokes. That's all. I didn't have much though.
I know. I apologize for steamrolling, but
When I moved here in 7th grade, the first friend I made was Chris Pearson, and he had like a birthmark over his left eye, kind of like Aang from the Fire, or not Aang, but the other dude from the Fire Kingdom.
Yeah.
And we became friends pretty quickly, but at first I thought he was a bully, and I let it slip one night, and he was like, "Why'd you think I was a bully?" And I just had to be like, "Hey, your eye." Like, you look like a monster. I just figured you had a tough life and you were mean to people as a result. And he was like, damn, dude. So.
Just because people have fucked up eyes doesn't make them monsters, Bobby. Sometimes they're just stupid people.
Well.
I've been afraid of Forrest Whitaker my entire life.
It looks like the principal from Beavis and Butthead.
Well, I didn't want to be like the anime I watch because I don't have friends since I've moved around so much. The guy with the weird eye is a bad guy, so I just be like, I just figured your eye.
You've learned to overcome that. Andrew's on the show.
Who's on the show?
One Eye Lopez over here.
Oh, that's just mean, Pat.
That's what I thought you were doing.
That's tasteless. No, dude. Fucking shout out Chris Pearson.
Every other time he's been on the show, so I'm like, all right.
I would not abuse my good friend Andrew like that, Pat.
You abuse all your friends. You can do it.
I don't. Yeah, that is kind of what I do.
So we're adult men. That's just. Yeah.
If not,
if you're not doing it, you're not being a friend.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I'm not doing that, I might as well just kiss another guy and be like in some video game TV show. Anyway, Pat, POS story, get out of here. It's not gonna get better than that. Let's.
Florida woman rescued from storm drain for third time in less than 2 years.
Just real quick, that's how you hit a clutch shot at the end of a game, LeBron. Go on.
Yep, Florida woman rescued from storm drain for third time in less than 2 years, which I find so hysterical. A Florida woman was pulled from a storm drain for the third time in 2 years last week. Delray Beach Police Department said officers and firefighters responded to a report of a woman possibly in distress while swimming in a canal near the 500 block of Lindell Boulevard around noon Wednesday. The department said officers located the woman, identified as Lindsay Jane Kennedy, she's a drunk, and asked if she needed help.
Help, Kennedy, my husband was driving the car. He got out and just ran away. Help.
I was just in a convertible and my wife got it was a flip. But, firefighters were able to keep Kennedy between two sections of pipe while the Delray Beach Fire Rescue Special Operations Team utilized a ladder and a rescue harness to pull her out.
Taking a page out of the Tennessee playbook. Keeping her between two pipes, if you know what I'm saying, Pat.
I know what you're saying. For those scoring at home.
0 for 12.
Kennedy appeared to have minor injuries. She didn't hurt kids. Had minor injuries and was treated at the scene before being transported to a hospital for further evaluation. Delray police said the fire department previously rescued Kennedy from a storm drain in 2021 after she had been missing for 3 weeks. According to local news outlets at the time, Kennedy told police she went swimming in a canal near her boyfriend's house on March 3rd, the same night her boyfriend reported her missing. While swimming, she said, she entered a doorway in the shallow part of the canal and noticed a tunnel. Continued following tunnels until she realized she was lost. She better be good at that. Because, like, how are you dating the girl who's like, oh, look, there's doors in a canal. I shouldn't swim in them.
Are we sure that's just not where her meth lab is?
Or she doesn't think she's a Ninja Turtle?
Yeah. Or that dude from It?
The clown one, right?
Yeah, the clown one, yeah.
Not the boy.
You know.
Just went down in the drain.
Yeah. Well. It's Georgie.
Kennedy was eventually rescued near the intersection of West Atlantic Avenue and Southwest 11th Avenue after a woman told 911 to report a woman yelling for help from inside the drain. She said she had stopped walking in that area. She could see light and people walking past her. The woman, who was 43 at the time, told police that she had been walking in the sewer system for about 3 weeks. Yeah, you were wondering if she was young. She's not young. She also said that she had been living off of an open can of ginger ale she found in the drain while looking for a way out. Delray police said Kennedy appeared to be coherent, but didn't need to be acted involuntary institutionalized. Police contacted her mother, who said she had a history of mental illness, is a frequent user of illegal narcotics, and has a history of doing odd things and making bad decisions. They're all in quotes. I don't know. I like how illegal narcotics wasn't in quotes.
Well, it's like after the story, what reporter writes all of that story and then puts those things in quotes?
Because he doesn't have proof, I guess, that those parts. They have proof of the drugs.
He doesn't have proof?
Before she disappeared, Kennedy's family members said she attended a Bible study with her mother where they learned about the prophet Elijah taking a journey. The relatives said Kennedy wrote her mom a note claiming that she was planning on going on her own journey. Why isn't this in the news more? This should be the focal point of everything. You want to make a movie, you make this movie.
So this should be a show based off a video game. That's
not accurate. She's not doing drugs. Despite that, the family said they didn't believe her journey was meant to be at a storm drain. Why would the family say, we don't think that's where the journey was supposed to go? What is she, the Rats of Nim?
I'm sorry, are you the Lord? Do you know where he called her to go?
Yeah, they don't have giant whales now.
The prophet Joanna or whatever?
She was reportedly listed as endangered. Reported as endangered. I don't know why that's important. As the sheriff's office missing persons documentation. The detective wrote in the report that she went missing under similar circumstances. There's so many quotes in April 2020. COVID times. Kennedy's third rescue from the storm drain took place in Granbury, Texas, 2 months later in May 2021. Police in the town were searching for 4 days before her mother and best friend found her at the canal. In this instance, she had reportedly wandered off from a rehab facility after checking in. When police saw the woman near a creek and began to approach her, she went to a nearby storm drain, according to WPEC. She fucking loves storm drains. A tracking app on her cell phone allowed her family to find her last location before she disappeared underground. Before she was rescued, her family and friends reportedly dropped bags of food and Gatorade into manholes in the area. Kennedy was reportedly arrested in Florida in July 2021 after a hit and run occurred when she sped off from a gas station after stealing beer. She almost ran over the store's clerk, who chased her outside. Then she ran several red lights before crashing with a car. Palm Beach County deputies said she ran from the crash scene to an apartment complex, but staff led her to her. Kennedy's passenger, who was injured, told police she ran because she didn't have a driver's license. Police said her license had been suspended 17 times from 2007 to 2020. Who's the piece of shit?
That's more than once a year.
Yeah, that's...
I mean, good math. You're like a euthanasia. That was good math. Who is the piece of shit in this story? Is it any doctors who did not recognize the mental illness this woman is battling and let her out? She should not be allowed anywhere near storm drains. Are it the people in Florida who are in charge of manhole covers and storm drains for not putting better covers on these things? There's a woman running loose in the storm drains and she can't stay away. You're letting her do drugs. You're giving her licenses all the time. But you can't let her in the storm drains. She loves it too much. Is it her family for supporting her to the point where they're like, oh, she was just on a spiritual journey going down? I'm not going to say the woman is a piece of shit in this thing. You guys can choose that. I think when someone's battling that much mental illness, this is not her fault. If anything, it's sad that they just keep letting her go on the loose. But that being said, is it the guy at the convenience store who gave her beer? I know she was stealing it, but at one point he was probably going to give it to her, and then she's like, he hit on her, and then she goes, I live in a storm drain, and he's like, all right, bitch, drink your beer, and ran away. Or is it her friend? Why the fuck are you being her friend? Don't be her friend. Who's the piece? Or, has to be fair, isn't that one? And I usually say it's the author, but this is news. I usually get mad at these stories.
That's a compelling story.
News.
That is Pulitzer Prize winning.
Story. Like,
yeah.
I want this to be a movie.
A bit quotey for my liking, but yeah.
Yeah. It's great. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Andrew, you go first.
Oh, man, it's easily the Florida rescue personnel. You guys could have solved this problem easily by letting the second time she was in a storm drain be the last time. If she wants to keep going there, just let her there. She seems to like it. She's got ginger ale and shit.
One open can of ginger ale lasting her for weeks.
Which, it's in a storm drain. It's in the sewers. What was that? Because I guarantee it might have been at best 3% ginger ale and 98% pee.
And I may be wrong on this, but in my own life, I have never seen a an empty can of ginger ale on the ground. I've seen many sodas. I don't ever remember seeing a Schweppes or any kind of ginger ale laying empty on the ground ever in my life. Canada Dry, none of that. I've seen them in refrigerators or in coolers. I've never seen one loose.
Yeah, no, she was just like, I think it was ginger ale. It's like, you've been drinking piss, girl. Like, it's just.
I don't know if she was or if she just couldn't be like, yeah, I sustained myself because I was on so much meth.
Well, I feel like that's almost just a given. She's a 43-year-old in Florida.
I found a ginger ale.
Wandering around the drain pipes.
By the way, if people are wondering, not ugly. I think that's why she got away with so much. I think it's when you're like, if she was a big fat no-tooth Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife type lady, she wouldn't be able to fit and drain, first of all. But second of all, they would all just like, get her off the street.
So they weren't getting her out. Yeah.
This one, not terrible. Like, I've made bad decisions. I would have definitely dated her for a while.
So she's like a girl interrupted in the drains.
Nobody's interrupting this girl. She's just, this is girl continued.
She's on a journey.
On a journey. Bobby?
Glessner, I love you, but I think you're wrong here, buddy. I don't think you can blame the Florida emergency personnel. Like, can you keep a fish from the ocean? Can you keep a man from breathing? Okay? Like, this bitch loves the sewer. You can't keep her out.
She really does. That's what I'm saying. We were there. Stop letting her come out.
If they had sent her to Afghanistan, we would have had Osama in a week and a half. Because she's like, oh, it's like tunnels, but they're dry.
If she was alive during baby Jessica times, you would have been out in a minute.
Yeah. It would
She
have
is
been
baby Jessica all grown up and she's wanting to go back home.
She would have beat it. We were talking about it earlier. She would have beat him. She would have been like, oh, I know this better than you.
Fuck you, Skarsgård.
It's not her family. Okay, they've tried. She's had her license suspended 17 times in 13 years.
Their family is so good, they were throwing Gatorade down the wall.
Hey, Sue Ellen, she's gone again. Yeah, secret of nymph, done run off. I'll get the map of all the manholes. You get the food packs. Let's go save this bitch.
It's like if you have like a family member who you know says they're going to be home at 10, but you want to go to sleep, and they come home at 2. After a while, you're like, just text them and go, the keys under the mat, whatever. They're like, it's 3 o'clock. Let me throw a Gatorade into the sewer.
Yeah, and they know where they are. Like, would you even know where the sewer grates in your town are to throw Gatorades?
There's usually a big circle that's an indicator, but yeah.
Right, but would you have to drive down the street, or would you just know? I feel like they've got pre-made packs for when this happens.
I mean, after trip 3, I'm sure they've got it mapped pretty well. They just go to the public works of any city they move into, like, listen, this is going to sound interesting. We need a map of the sewer. I
think the piece of shit's her boyfriend. I think he made a deal with some genie who was like, I want her to drown in the sewer pipes. And he was like, all right, but... and she beat the genie. I like to imagine him calling his buddy like, Jim Bob, I think the bitch done got cursed. She won't die. It's been 17 days and she just surfaced in the middle of town talking about, I done drank a ginger ale.
Or, hear me out, he knew that was the case. We made the deal with the genie, and it's his way of getting more wishes. He's like, I'm going to do one over on you, buddy.
Jim Bob, call Sam and Dean. Maybe bring in Bobby. This seems like an important episode.
She was supposed to lose her voice and to lose her legs or whatever, right? Wasn't this a Little Mermaid, but like the real tail? She's just trying to go back to the ocean.
She's going to turn back to foam.
The genie puts her in the sewer. She just starts laughing. You merely adopted the sewers. I
feel bad for the boyfriend, Bob.
Why?
Because there had to be at least a week. They're not covering this where the police thought he killed her.
Oh, at least the
like,
first 2 times.
She's got mental illness. She knows to go near drains. She went swimming near this thing. She's going through these doorways. They can't find her. He's like, oh, I swear to God, she's in the sewers. I swear to God, I didn't do anything. And then he probably doesn't. If he's dating her and she's got all her damage, he's probably got a couple priors or something up or something weird.
Oh, yeah. He's in Florida.
Like trashing that town. You killed the girl, whatever. The family's like, yeah, we've thrown down 3 Gatorade. She hasn't thrown any empty ones back up to us.
No, wait, Pat, you're
I
telling me...
think it's cute that you think a guy murdering his girlfriend in Florida and then throwing her in the sewers is something they look down upon in that town.
I was going to say, Pat, you're telling me that the guy dating fucking Goonies Jr. isn't the most upstanding citizen in the town? Come on.
Junior is my favorite name for a woman.
Yeah, no, I
That's
know
our
what
pet name.
Do the truffle shuffle. You know, the first time the detective was like, oh yeah, this dude absolutely murdered this bitch. And then the second time he was like, all right, I know it happened once before, but I'm pretty sure he just screwed things up. He definitely murdered this bitch. The third time he was like, nah, she's in the sewer. Trust me.
Yeah, at this point, it's like, I'm going to the sewer. If it's Jeff Cullen, I know where she is.
He looks like Matthew McConaughey, like as True Detective goes on. At the beginning, he's a young stud. By the end, he's just a frail old guy. Like, the sewer bitch, she ruined my career.
Time is a flat circle, so you don't understand. Sometimes you gotta go deep within the sewer to find yourself.
And sometimes in the sewer,
and only then what you find is madness.
What happens in the sewer is I keep getting older, but they stay the same age.
Tadpoles stay the same age. I think the piece of shit in this story is the police department. Because, yes, first time, shame on you. Second time, when the family goes, dude, she's in the sewer. Just go in the sewer. We're not allowed in. You don't let people just go running around sewers. We're not going to go down there. But you guys have a team. That's what you do. Go in the sewer. They're like, she's not in the sewer. We wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. And finally, some woman's like, some bitch keeps yelling from the sewer. And they didn't say that woman said, oh, she needed help. She was complaining about the noise from the sewer. So finally, the police came, not because to help that woman, stop the noise of the woman sipping on a drop of ginger ale, flat, by the way, you know it's not there, and festering on meth or whatever the fuck else is down there. The police should have been in the sewer the second half. Like, from now on, anyone's missing in that part of Florida, they should never look above ground. It should only be sewer time for now fucking on. How do you not look down there? She's been 3 fucking times in 2 years. She's been stuck in the sewer. The only thing she does more frequently to get stuck in the sewer is lose her license. That's it.
Mathematically, it's about the same.
Yeah. But she has yet to done the fight in the sewer. But to give her credit, at 43 to be nimble enough to fucking move around the sewer. I'm 48. I don't think I can get outdoors.
Do you think her boyfriend taunts her every time there's a fight? He like grabs her earrings, like, "Oh yeah, Ratatouille," and just flushes them. Go get them. See you in 2 weeks, bitch.
Do you think they're still dating?
Yes. This is the third time it's happened.
He didn't leave her after the third time.
This is the third time it's happened, Pat. That means he went into the relationship knowing, yeah, this bitch has been lost in the sewer once, but she'll suck my dick.
So big ups to him, too, because that's got to be one stinky muff, right? Just the sewer puss.
That's probably her nickname. Get over here, sewer puss.
It's not Goonies Jr.
Bobby, I just sent you a picture of her. I don't know if you want to share it with people or not, but she looks better than you would think sewer lady does. But this might be before her first couple times in the sewer. There. So I don't know. I'll send you one to Glessner because I don't know if Bobby's going to share it so we can see it. He might just share it for the people. I'll send you a picture of the woman. Not that that matters in any way, but I understand why she got more chances. You know what I mean? That's a Florida 8. For 43?
That's a Florida 22 as well.
Yeah, and which is I think was our running back's number on the Seminoles.
Yeah, I was gonna say Florida. She's a baby at 43. Yeah,
but not the worst looking lady for this to be happening. I'll tell you.
For a sewer dweller, she's the queen.
Like, once again, we talked about this. It's not about the vehicle that's carrying the crazy.
Did
a lot of times, those are the ones that get you. You know what I mean? Did
she resubscribe to our Patreon, Pat? I know it's been a while.
It's not Smokey. That is not nice. Smokey is more attractive than that. And
I miss you, Smokey.
Smokey lives in Canada.
Hope you're doing well.
She posts every day on Facebook, so I know she hasn't been in the sewer for a while.
I miss you, Smokey. Hope you're doing well.
Did you guys lose Smokey? That's unfortunate.
No, we didn't.
What'd you do, Bobby?
Real life happened. Real life happened. She lost herself in the sewer.
Would you want to? Does that make you want to go in the sewer?
No.
At all? No, stop. Think about it.
I mean,
she lived for a couple of weeks. I don't know.
I would make a bread trail or something, but sure, I'd go investigate.
I'd go with another person, like a team, not alone. I don't know. I also I hate rodents. I hate reptiles, so I'd be bugging out right away.
I was gonna say I wouldn't do it in Florida just because of the whole, fucking alligator thing.
New York.
Well, yeah,
What do you
destroy
think
my
has the
rats.
best sewers?
India.
Not India.
Yeah, definitely India, because they just shit in the road.
Well, I just meant their water and their fucking everything else is bad. Yeah, you're right. Without pooping there. India and San Francisco are probably clean. They're all just pooping on the road.
Mm. Did you know I used to drive a taxi in San Francisco?
Oh, dude, don't. Please. You don't need this. You're too young. Like, she's too young to be swimming, or too old to be swimming in sewers. You're too young to be quoting Harry Chapin every chance you get. Go ahead, quote your songs, get the fuck out of here.
Nah, I just thought it was an interesting fact. I was trying to be a part of the show. Sorry, I don't
know.
know.
You had a big break in this case. What are you talking about?
Not a big break.
You also solved the quality, you think?
Oh. All right, man. I guess I am doing things with my life.
You are. You're doing great, Bobby. Look at all the prisms we have on our screen. Flying giant 43-year-old vaginas just coming at us.
We're in a sewer way of them.
Prism's just another word for nothing left. No!
What if she's nice? No one said she was mean. She doesn't seem like she's a mean lady. She just is adventurous. Bobby, you're the kind of person who likes to go off and do your things. She doesn't seem clingy at all.
Pat, I'm also the type of person who with a god and hero complex. If this isn't right in my wheelhouse, like, oh yeah, I'll save the crazy bitch, the nice girl, but I've done that before, and it destroys you.
Oh, I thought you said she was going to be like a god like you. She's just trying to go back to the sea.
She may be god of the rats. We don't know.
Oh, rat god. I thought she was like ocean god. But yeah, you might be both. Maybe both. Rodent ocean god. Ocean.
Rhodosian. Roach. We'll get that.
Croatia. Croatia. I don't know. I think it would be in a small town. It would suck if you were like the guy who was the best high school quarterback in that town, and now you're number 2. It's a sewer girl. She comes into the bar, and it's like Jim Bob's here. Yeah, who cares? The girl who swims in the sewers is here. I'm gonna try to get her number.
Oh shit! It's the Toxic Avenger.
But the good thing is that's the kind of girl that you can't complain if you bring her to a shitty motel. Like you're gonna bring her to your house, like if you live in the sewer.
What's her mindset like when she gets in
there?
Life
is terrible.
Just
and I'm hoping there's like
in the gutter.
Better in the sewer.
Because the first time she was like, oh shit, all right, I'll be out of here in a few minutes. Okay, maybe a few hours. Okay, a few days. And then the second time she's like, no, god damn it, I've been here before. It's gonna be 2 weeks. And the third time she's like, starts setting up a camp. She's like, they'll find me eventually.
You know when a little kid runs away, doesn't really run away to the backyard, and is like, they'll miss me, they'll be mad. After 10 minutes, it feels like a lifetime. No one's noticed yet that they're missing because they just thought they're playing in their room. I think that's what was happening with her. And there was times when she's like, how are people not looking for me? I go swimming a lot. I'm kind of clumsy. Sometimes I slip into sewers. Why is no one looking in the ocean? How about stop her from swimming? How about like an activities like skiing somewhere where the frozen water can't get her?
Ban her from every canal. That seems to be the precursor.
Let's not just ban her. Let's ban everybody. Nothing good happens at the canals.
No.
Just give her a book of riddles. Be like, be on your way, you merry bitch. You're a troll now.
Oh, because then she'll be in there, Bobby. Her and Gala will be fucking in there.
She'll be happy.
He has canal smarts, like the 10% is dope.
Raising the skill of hard pipes.
Did you guys hear that the AI thing that made the Tenberg jokes?
That made
actually
what?
a pretty good one too. It's like,
are they?
It's like how'd it go? It was like taking all his jokes and it was like suddenly the effect of it's like I didn't want to sleep on the bed. I don't want to sleep on the bed. I want to sleep on the ground. And people say I shouldn't sleep on the ground. And it's like gravity saying, you won this round. But AI kind of took his humor and tried to make a joke about sleeping on the ground. It actually was close to the dumb shit he would say.
This is how it fucking starts.
Oh yeah, it's this funny bot from South Park.
I read a thing where it's like it thinks 7 years from now we'll hit that critical point where AI is faster than we are. And it's like, I think we hit that point a while ago.
I was like, it depends on the person you're measuring that against. Because
do you remember how people had a meltdown about a gay guy on a video game show that's now on TV? Like, you can't tell me AI hasn't just taken over and run everything.
But see, Bobby, I think our show proves that that's not the case, because AI can try all at once. It'll never make a woman that wants to swim in the sewers. You know what I mean? Like, there are people in this world that will never be able to be duplicated, and computers will never figure it out. And those are going to be the heroes. Sewer lady will rise against the time.
I was like, for sure, when the robots take over.
Morpheus is nothing but some guy who just doesn't know how to wear sunglasses and hides in the ground. Like, sometimes you just need a crazy person to become your leader.
That's why I'll be living in the sewers when the robots take over, and she's going to be the leader.
Yes.
Do you think like the final? Do you think the final boss AI will be like AI, like a version of Allen Iverson, and his move will be he just crosses people over and steps on them? He's like, you're practice. We don't do practice.
So no matter the question, I am the answer.
That's why.
Yeah, but is he the 76ers AI or is he Denver Nuggets AI?
I think he's.
It's got to be 76ers, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping if he's Denver Nuggets.
The issue is they don't realize that computers aren't affected by time, so they make him Mexican soccer goalie AI.
Was there a Mexican soccer goalie named AI?
Yeah, he got real behind on some debts, so he had to play goalie in an indoor soccer league in Mexico.
Yes, he did, but he did pretty well.
Yeah, he was good at it. It wasn't like people thought it was going to be him bad. It turns out he's still pretty fucking athletic.
He had incredible ball handling skills. I mean,
the issue was, you know how like
he's also short, and a goalie should also be like. It's amazing what he does with his stat.
Yeah, but he's short. In Mexico, he's probably like
sewer. He would have gotten out right away. That's how good he is.
He wouldn't punch the ball out on saves. He'd catch it and finger roll it above the goal.
There's going to be legend. We always talk about, like, folklore and things. Those things don't happen anymore. 100 years from now, people are going to talk about the woman who lives in the sewers. And that'll be a story that people tell each other. Either in a boogeyman type way, which, by the way, that movie coming out looks like it's going to be terrifying and I'm going to cry. But the boogeyman, there's a new version of that that's coming, and it looks. I think it's fun. I get scared of it.
Starring Avery Quinn.
Why is Avery Quinn the boogeyman? Why do you always that? He's doing really well at comedy.
He's doing incredibly, and he was going to be on tonight, but he was headed to a show, actually. Why do I always give Avery Quinn a hard time?
The replacement Avery.
No, you said yes first, thankfully, Glessner. We were out of the doghouse.
Well, to be fair, you were the third string because my friend Brian Plum on us, and then because Brian Plum couldn't do it, Avery Quinn was too. So we just went down the whitest people we thought. Make sure nobody was beating up people as cops. We now know who does that, right?
It's Tuesday. Andrew's not booked.
Oh, wait, neither is Avery Quinn. There's an open mic.
Oh, okay.
There's no show.
Maybe that's true for Pat, but you're the glass apple of my eye, Glessner.
The eye joke again. Fucking asshole.
Yep, that's called bringing it home.
Good. And thank you for being here, Andrew. Can you tell people where to follow you and check out all your fun shit?
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Drew_Glessner. I usually post any comedy shows I'm doing there. I'm not super active on Twitter just because it's Twitter. But yeah, I post most stuff on my Instagram. Follow along if you'd like there. Come see me at my shows if you can.
And even if you can't.
Even if you can't, it's fine. Just send me $20.
Unless you're in a sewer.
Yeah.
Get out of the sewer first.
There are priorities, yes.
If you have 17 suspended licenses, have someone drive you. Take it up.
Yeah, unless the sewers run underneath the comedy club and show up.
Return all the cans you found in the sewer and you can afford it.
I'm just going to start putting tape recorders of my bits down in sewers just in case.
Ooh.
There's going to be a sewer open mic.
Because if she's the queen of the sewer people, I will be their jester.
You wouldn't be the king?
Probably not. I'm not that cool.
No, I just meant you. I mean,
I know my station, Pat. I know what
I know, but and also you're a faithful man, so you're not going to cheat with the sewer queen.
That's right. I have my wench.
Your wench is like, you're with the sewer queen again.
So whoa! I was just making her laugh. That's my job as the jester of the rats.
Why is she wet? She lives in
The sewer. Why does she smell like that again? The sewer.
No, that could be her.
Also, she's gross. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Bobby.
Real quick, Glessner, the people want to know any movies on the horizon. We know the last one was critically acclaimed. What do we got?
With the success of our last two short films that released, Trick or Treat and Trick or Treat 2,
Comments are amazing.
Oh yeah, we are dipping our toes into going back into the feature waters. We are looking for funding right now, and we've got two different avenues we can go with that for two different projects that cost vastly different sums of money. So if you're a person who funds movies and you've ever seen what we do over at Thinking Art Entertainment
Let me
on
just
YouTube,
save you the air. Don't worry,
No.
they're not watching this.
so
We
give
have a
us
couple
money.
people that watch.
I'm just
that
playing. Go ahead. Yeah.
Things they love. So yeah.
I was just messing with you, Glessner.
But yeah, we're looking at different avenues, so we're seeing what we can do. But yeah, the goal is to make another feature this year, because we started off, we made features and we kind of got in the shorts just because they're easier to produce, and it helped us get more kind of like short-term notoriety online. It helped us get our name out there, so I think we're ready to kind of go back into the feature game.
Wow.
So that's where we're at. I don't want to speak too much more about what because we've got a couple different ways we can go, so we're just seeing what works right now. See what we can do.
He just said the what, but that's okay.
The what.
Pat, go ahead.
Well, real quickly, since you're doing that, now because we have shared this information, if you do decide to make the Sewer Lady movie, I am putting in already is playing detective who can't find her. I want to play Florida detective who's having trouble, and everyone keeps telling him to go to the sewers. He's like, I've got my hunches. You get away from me. And he just won't go in the sewers. I want to play him.
100%.
I'd like to play Patrick Mahomes in your movie.
Okay.
The less black quarterback.
Chief Mahomes.
No. He's not a quarterback, Pat. Completely different guy. He's a country singer.
Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, in Andrew's movie. It's just a name I chose.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Why
not.
would there be a country singer?
I'm a country singer, Patrick Mahomes. No
It would
relation.
make more sense that Patrick Mahomes was in this movie in the off-season doing Allstate commercials near the sewer.
Right, but then Andrew could say Patrick Mahomes is in the movie.
I'm going to feel really bad when Bobby wants that role and I have to look past him for booking because Patrick Mahomes wants to play country singer Patrick Mahomes in my movie. I have to say yes to Patrick Mahomes.
Even worse, Luke Combs wants to play Patrick Mahomes, the quarterback for the Chiefs in the movie.
Well, I hope all of those guys can.
Jalen Hurts wants to play Billy Ray Cyrus.
Well, I hope any of the guys taking my role can nail. Can I? God damn it!
Bobby, I'm sorry, but you started this nonsense. Why are there so many country singers in this sewer movie?
I don't know these goddamn country singers in the motherfucking sewer.
He's the one that sparked this awesome, fun conversation.
Although there already is a band about country singers in the sewer. That's Florida Georgia Line.
Yes, well, not anymore.
Did he drop all three Rage Quiz?
That's the line. They split up. There's the county lines now. They're split.
That's a bummer, huh?
I don't know why. Jalen Hurts can't be in it because of swimming. But anyway.
Anyway, I hope any of those guys can sing the pivotal country song at the key moment that inspires the main character to go save the girl about when he was a taxi driver in San Francisco and he needed just one more fare to make his night. He saw a lady up ahead, waved to flag him down. She got in at the light. See, Pat, that's all I wanted to do was just bring it back to Harry Chapin. My big plug is check out us in 2 weeks. Please. It's the album taping. It's a big deal. It's going to be a great time. Even if you don't care about the fact that it's at Pat's album taping, you just want a good comedy show. It is a fantastic lineup. It's at City Steam Brewery. It's Darren Rivera hosting, me featuring, headliner, celebrity to be, Pat Oates is doing his big album taping. It's going to be a good time. Tickets are going fast, so get them ASAP. Let's do Friday, pushing Friday night. Let's get those.
And before the show starts, Harry Chapin will be performing.
Well, hopefully we have a Ouija board.
Yes, we do.
You know all of his songs are 10 minutes. You know how long it's going to take me to spell out a 10-minute song by Harry Chapin? That might be my whole set. I just bring out a Ouija board and go, I'm channeling Chapin.
Pat, how'd it go? It felt the worst thing ever created.
Turns out there is a limit to absurd comedy.
He did a Ouija board, and everyone yelled, I don't even know who he's trying to conquer.
Bobby started communicating with the dead, and by the end of the set, everybody had killed themselves.
Hairy shavings. I don't even know who that is.
You just hear the audience whispering, I bet this would kill if we knew who he was.
I think he was the guy who announced for the Cubs.
Wasn't it Cher's wife?
You gotta do the Jonathan Edwards thing. It's like, is there Harry Chapin in the world? Harry Chapin. Someone who was a taxi driver in San Francisco. Anyone? Yes, yeah. And just
anyone here, Harry? Not even the name, just Harry in general.
Do you have hair?
Chafing.
Sure. Did you say you had a hankering for 30,000 pounds of bananas?
Sir, did you use the word hankering correctly?
Nailed
Back
it.
to the 50s. What are you doing here? I do want to see that movie with the sewer people. That's my push. If you're out there and you're like, M. Night, you could do this. The sewer woman who becomes president of the United States.
We've all been
the actual lizard people down there. It's a movie.
Then it turns out we've been living in the sewer the whole time. What a twist.
Sewers were where we always were.
Sewers.
The
Metaphorically is apt.
Yeah, not the flat earth. Who's the ones that think we live in the people who live underground in the core earth? Like
The
those
mole people.
Yes, that's who it is. It's the mole people. And she's dating them. But she's on a date. She's on the Real Housewives of Sewers. It's a great show. But yes, Bobby and I have the album recording, which I'm very excited about that happening. Also excited about the weekend before. If you can't come see us because you live somewhere like in Western Massachusetts, well, Bobby and I will be in Florence, Massachusetts, at JJ's Tavern performing there with Timothy Lovett, some lady, not the sewer lady. I just don't remember her name, but I'm sure she's lovely and nice. I'm sure she's never been to a sewer. So it's going to be a fun time. Come check that out as well. You can listen to me weekly on Jazz and AJ. I don't know. Never one day, but don't worry. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I don't stop posting about it because I'm putting it up there and annoying people. And besides that, please subscribe to our Patreon. We'd like you to be there. We will be putting better content up there. We're probably going to have a lot of fun stuff from the album recording, so be on there and check some content and shit of that nature. Andrew, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
And I wanted to announce coming to our Patreon is my new podcast. It's me and a porn star called Spaz and the BJ.
Who's Spaz?
Which one are you?
I'm Spaz. She gives BJs. It's kind of like Chaz and AJ.
Yeah, kind of like that. Except, why is it a porn star?
Because she gives BJs.
Anyone can. The last of us showed us that.
Yeah,
Okay, but if she's on the show, she's going to be a porn star by the end because that's her role on the show.
There was an old TV show called BJ and the Bear, and it wasn't a porn star and a bear. It was just a guy named BJ.
Like picture.
On The Last of Us, there was a BJ and two bears.
One cup.
Picture this, but like just a girl giving an aggressive blowjob right next to me.
I don't want to picture that.
That's this podcast. That's the.
Why is it aggressive?
So is she going to be mic'd up, or how does that work?
Yeah. Lofts.
You just bouncing ideas off her. So, like, what do you think about the situation with this police? And she's like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of game shows where you're like, you've got 30 seconds to solve this math problem, and she's like, okay, well, first thing we want to do is integrate the top.
He's choking on a cock, and she pulls off to go. Sewer barely knew her, and it goes back to the penis. She does fun jokes.
If you know a gal like that, send her my way. This is gonna be a great new podcast.
Bobby,
Yeah.
your whole thing at the
Oh
end.
yeah, my bad. And
Bobby.
remember, hang on, let's see.
Fingers.
Let's see if this works one more time. And remember, nope, wrong way. Nope, you son of a bitch.
He squeeze you.
There we go. Here we go. If you can't beat them,
Pinch him.
if you can't join them, beat them, and don't be a piece of shit.